but I want to cover the rest of the steam components. What does this look like? It's a steam boiler, but this here to show you the Hartford loop. Why do we use the Hartford loop?
Safety.
Yeah. How does it help?
Up pressure.
Back pressure from the chamber. You have buildup of steam. Something got clogged. Water get pushed down. It will go back to push the water back through the Hartford loop, but eventually it will slowly comes back again. Similar to what you have in some toilets where you have high water level. If it pushes too much, you will see it slowly coming back again because of the loop. Because the water is maintained at that level. Hartford loop is done for safety and it's mandatory for all steam boilers. We talk about the controls: low water cutoff, cut-in pressure, cut-off pressure differential, and we want to keep the pressure at 0.5 psi. The maximum pressure for residential is 2 psi in the system, and if you go to the code, they will not allow you to have a boiler that can maintain more than 15 psi pressure. So these are the control we need for steam. We talk about something called the EDR. You remember what that was? What is EDR?
Estimated direct radiation.
Thank you. And it's 240. What EDR? Why do we have this number? Why don't they just go with BTU? Probably it's a trade thing. At some point they just have EDR, they transition into BTUs. Again, now the general unit we have for all HVAC is BTUs. Even though if you go to refrigeration, they will have different units, what they use for ACs, big ACs. For window ACs, they will tell you like 10,000 BTU, 5,000 BTU. It's becoming more common. But if you go with central air, tons. Let's say my house has 3 tons of refrigeration. How much is a ton? 12,000. We talked about steam flow, and we said again we want complete full pipe opening. Otherwise, you'll have some water hammering. You want to keep the orifice as big as it was designed to. This is a one-pipe pump system. Why would we have a pump system? Probably the reason for that, if we have a very, very large system, and there's a lot of water coming in, and sometimes you want to guarantee that the water will be pumped at the right pressure into the boiler. So pumped. What defines large? Long distance pipe. And a lot of pipe systems, they have a float that will turn on and off the pump. So the system, if the system is dry, or it has some leaks, or you want to start the system in the season and there's no water, it will not start. And some of them have an auto feeder, which is very good feature to have to keep the system running and have the proper amount of water. You also notice here there's a pitch slope. So they say 1 inch per 20 feet minimum, that's a ratio. When they say 1 per 20, so for each 20 feet, you'll have 1 inch of rise of slope. 10 degrees sometimes will do it, but this is how they calculate the pitch. So you just keep one for each 20 feet, you lower the pipe by 1 inch per one side. Again, there's a lot of techniques involved into pitching the pipe. and again, you don't want it to make it too fast or too slow, too steep. What would happen if you make the slope too steep?
Fluid will block it.
The fluid flow will be too fast, and if it's too fast, it will run against the steam because the steam is going in a different direction. So this is the pipe, and you have steam going this way, water will be going this way. So if it's going too fast, we're going to have a lot of flow, and that eventually will cause the steam to push against it, and we'll have a steam pump. And I'll tell you why the pocket is a problem. This picture here just explains the operation of one pipe and two pipe system. So in the one pipe, again, the steam and water comes from one side. The vent is usually in the middle, and sometimes at the top, depending on the side of the radiator. These are usually you see a hole in there, and a thread where you put the vent. What happens if you have no vent? What if somebody just took up the vent and throw it away? What will happen? Huh?
Explosion?
No, it's going to be an opening. So you will have the air vents out beautifully, and steam will start to come out. So it will heat.
Be controlled.
Yeah. Steam will come out, and eventually you will have a soggy walls in your room. Again, steam comes in. Steam is lighter than air. It will go up. It has more pressure. Eventually, it will force the air out, squeeze it out, and you will have some remaining air in the system. And water level should be maintained in the bottom and start to flow as it reaches the tip or the bottom end of the valve. So this is for the one pipe system. The two pipe system has less problems, but it's more involved in installation, where you supply the steam from the top, and the bottom you'll have dedicated for water, and you'll have a trap. The trap is designed. You'll have air vents are required for both, but the steam trap can substitute for having an air vent. And we looked at the steam trap and we saw the video how the steam trap will let the air out, and the water will flow, and it will shut off when there's steam. So it's operated by the weight of the steam, and you want to maintain the steam in the pipe, and the vent will vent all the air out, and the same function. The two pipe system is more efficient in the sense that it will let all the air out, and you'll have more steam in the radiator. So, and probably if you work in heating, you will run through some of those steam systems. See, does steam system work in gas or oil? What do you think? Both. Doesn't matter what fuel you use. You can upgrade the system to gas and still have steam. Steam is the mean to transfer the heat from the basement or from the boiler to the room. This is the physics behind a water hammer. So this is what happens. The water is flowing through the pipes, and sometimes it's too much, you can hear it flowing, especially if the radiator is cold. In the beginning, the cycle, the radiator is very cold, it's room temperature, so it will condensate more water. So more water will condensate, and you'll have a lot of smoke right away, and you will see that the radiator, this toilet section radiator here, these sections, they have pipes between them. Air vent. Steam coming in. So at the beginning it will be cold. Steam will fill this section first, so you can feel the steam. This section is getting hot. Fine. Meanwhile, this is really cold, and it will transfer little by little. The last one until completely all the same temperature, and you'll start accumulating water in the bottom. The radiator itself has to be tilted. Please remember that. Radiators are very heavy, and over time they tend to lose their tilt. So make sure you go there with a level, water level, make sure it is tilted. And sometimes you have to tilt them more because the water still get trapped in here. And say again? Yeah. Sometimes you have to lift it up and put some piece of wood underneath and make sure it's tilted. It's designed to be tilted. Some of them have adjustable legs where you can unscrew them and raise them up from the one side so they will tilt to the other side. So you get the water to flow. When you don't have the proper till, this is what happens. You have the water run very quick, and you will have a steam pocket. This pocket, over time, it will be pressurized, and eventually the steam will try to find a way to get out, and it will cause this strong noise of water hammering. Water hammering can happen at the beginning of the cycle, in the middle of the cycle, or when you turn off the system. Whenever you see water hammering, or you hear water hammering or banging in the pipes, you know there's something off with the distribution or the flow of water and steam in the same pipe. So for radiator selection, again, we said EDR is the unit for these radiators, and EDR is 240 BTUs per hour. Some radiators can be used for both steam and water. And so they give you a rating whether you want to use steam or water. And this looks very familiar, right? 180 and 510, 580, they look very familiar to what we had from the water radiator, from these ones here, Fin. I will see you the flow rate in pound per hour, that's the amount of steam. So steam is rated by pounds an hour. And this is the rating for ADR, square feet of radiation, 340, 3.4. And based on the temperature, whether it's water or steam, you can have different radiation. And you can see, we can go up to 230, which is steam, that's not water. Water cannot go to 230. Water at 210 will start to become steam. So these pipes or these radiator can use either steam or water. Again, if you go online and look up some steam radiators, they can be different shapes, different sizes, and different sections. And you might see either the BTU hour or the EDR. This is another radiator ratings. And if you look, it comes in sections. By sections, we mean these little small sections. And sometimes they come with different thickness. So if we look at the section, and probably if you go to a house, you see all the radiators look the same, they're just different sections. Some of them are big and some of them are small. So in the bathroom problem, you see two sections. You might see only one section, or like a big row of it. If you look to the side view, section will look something like that. On the side, they try to maximize the surface area, again, and sometimes it gets a little bit decorative, but they are made of steel, carbon steel. It's very heavy, and it's supposed to have a lot of thermal inertia, and it will withstand the heating and cooling expansion without any problems. Also, in the beginning of the cycle, when you turn on the system from cold, you will hear a lot of not hammering, a lot of banging and noise. What is that from?
The materials and the
Yeah, the material are relaxing, and sometimes it will be sitting on some support and just like crack out of it. But that's only in the beginning when it's really cold. It should relax a little bit and takes its operational shape. This is the length per section, so they give you a length per section, and it will tell you the EDR per feet in each section. So if the section is 9 EDRs, how much BTUs is 9 EDRs? If I want to change 9 EDR, you multiply by 240. And you'll see how those radiators makes heating much easier. They give off a lot of heat. What would you think of some of the issues with steam radiators, if you ever had some? What do you think?
They're exposed. So if you lean on it while it's high, you're
Yeah, they're always, they are very hot, so if you have a toddler or somebody who's like on the floor and they touch it, they're gonna get burned. You might touch it and get burned as well. It's very, very hot. So a lot of times you'll see people buying boxes, they put on top of the radiator, just to kind of like have a distance so you don't touch it directly. I have steam in my house and some of the radiators are exposed. In fact, if I mistake touch them, they're really, really hot. So that's something you want to be aware of. They get up to 240, 250 degrees, so it's pretty hot. And you don't want to touch those. So that's what some of the issues there. And also, they are large size. The size is pretty intense compared to the ADR. So if you have a small bathroom and you put a 3-section radiator, you took a lot of space. Meanwhile, this one will not take as much space. And a lot of tire kitchens and bathrooms, they tend to use big boards because they can be under the cabinet and you don't have to see and deal with the size. This is a one-pipe system made of this is a gravity system, which means there is no pump. The system is very efficient, and this is one of the earliest systems. And if you notice, you do not, in reality, you do not require a lot of electrical systems. You can run this thing without electricity. We only need electricity for the gas burner and oil burner. But in the beginning of the day, time, they used to burn wood or coal here, and the whole system will heat and circulate using gravity, using completely mechanical controls. Even the low water system was completely mechanical. You know, a float, a big float. If there's no water, it will shut off the system completely, and there's no more heat. Make sure that the pitch here is exaggerated, just so you can see it. There's always going to be some pitch, and if you look in here, it's always some kind of tilt, something to tilt the radiator. One pipe system again. This is just the bottom of the section of the system. Probably is very big. Probably at some point you want to collect the right amount of water, and you'll have a reservoir, small tank with a pump in it, and make up water to make sure that the system will always have some water in it. Pump it back and forth. Who has a steam system? You have steam, right? Steam. Nobody has steam. So steam is still very common, and I don't know who asked me that last week, but new systems you don't put steam. Mostly it's for all systems, but there's a lot of them out there. Steam, you might see that in big commercial buildings.
So if you're gonna switch from steam to a boiler, you're gonna use the same radiators, would you have to have a bigger pump then to get the hot water to the height of the radiator?
You're gonna have, if you change to hot water from steam, you have to change the radiators.
They said,
Not all of them, some of
I'm
them.
saying though, if you do have that one though, the
Okay.
radiator,
Okay.
do you have to have a bigger pump though?
Yeah.
Because the
The pump, yeah, because the pump is not going, if you don't have steam, you have hot water now, you're gonna have to pump water. So you're gonna put a pump in.
Well, no, I'm saying though, would you have to have a bigger pump though?
For the
Like
back?
No,
Yes.
regularly, to get to the height of the radiator.
Yeah, definitely.
You're not pumping steam, are you?
No, but if he was asking if for some radiator that use either steam or water, and the system was designed for steam and you want to switch to hot water, what are you gonna do? Of course, you're gonna have to pump that. You're gonna install a pump coming out of here, and it will pump to the entire pipes. And
You
this
have to
pump
put returns on those too, on that system, right?
yeah, but it's not going to be a system. For the radiators that work with hot water and steam, it has to be 2-pipe. It can't be 1-pipe system. 2-pipe system again, tells, and again, pipes and returns coming to the same header. And if you notice here, the steam is coming out from the boiler, coming out, going to each riser. This is called a riser. Riser is the one coming into the radiator. And we have one big giant manifold that goes to each room. Probably if you have a steam system going in the basement, you'll see a big pipe, probably 10 or 12 inches going all along the house, and a lot of branches coming out of it, and a lot of unions. So, and the condensate of the water will gather in these pipes, and usually we'll have water all the way to the top here, and this is the hot foot loop that maintain the water in that system. And the water can go up and down in the system, but it should not exceed that level, the top of the boiler. So this is the side glass that you always look at. So the water here is the same water level in the boiler, and it's the same water level here in the hot foot loop. So, and you will see always the line here until you keep it this low. What happens if you overfill it by 2 or 3 gallons? The water exceeds this level here. You have this much water. What will happen? There will be a lot of accumulation of the water in the system, and you'll have a lot of hammering. Because the water in the system is accumulating too much, and probably you'll have some hammering at some point this might have more water here, and you might have some happening. So if you overfill the system, make sure you go and drain it, and the level should be marked. If there's usually, if there's a hot fill loop, it's at the level of the hot fill loop to maintain the low water level. So the low probably is here, going with the hot fill loop. This is the optimum. Okay. If you have steam system, probably you will lose some amount of steam somewhere in the units, and there must be some leaks. So check if you're using too much steam, too much water. Go check around the system, check all the boilers, check in the bottom, and make sure there's no water.
Now, if you're installing a steam, system, do you absolutely have to have the Harper loop, or is this highly suggested that you do?
Depending on the city code, a lot of codes require hot fill. If the system was installed, probably, I don't know, there's a cutoff date where it's there, you can go the grandfather in, and also depends on what kind of control you have in the system. Yeah. My system does not have a hot fill for some reason. I don't know why. So probably it's a code thing, and probably the system has a low water cutoff that's very effective. Okay. So the pressure inside the residential steam system is not to exceed 2 psi. Low cutting pressure is 0.5 psi. Air vents are required for both 1.5 and 2.5 system. That's for a lot of codes. You might not see it in 2.5 system because they have the trap, but it is required for both. Vent is installed in the radiator at the end of the steam riser. The riser is where the steam comes in. If the system is operating with too much water, that could result in water happening. So don't fill up the steam to the brim. Make sure there's room for the steam to come in. Traps allows the water and air to pass through and will stop the steam from going through. If you have some steam, or if it's hissing too much, you know there's some leak in those little traps and you have to change them. Can anybody use this? Okay. So always consult with the manufacturer when it comes to trap sizing. Trap sizing is not one size fits all, and they have some numbers to be gauged to. So the rate of steam air coming out should be manageable, because again, you don't want to also shock the system. What does that mean? Let's say the radiator is very cold at 40 or 50, or the system is starting from scratch, like from zero, humidification. You might blow the system, you came back. So the air vent job, it has numbers on it. I'll show it. Those numbers regulate how much air, how fast the air leaves the system. So you don't want the steam to come in very quickly and shock the system. That might possibly crack some of the pipes, especially if it's really, really cold. And that's why you have temperature control in it. Again, steam systems gather a lot of dirt, and what happens when you have a lot of dirt? You have to flush the system. If you flush the system during the winter, make sure you do not empty the boiler and put in new water right away, especially if the system is operating. Why?
It'll crack it.
It will crack it. For sure it will crack. So what do? Either you empty the entire boiler, wait for it, come room temperature, then slowly introduce the water in. In some cases, if you have some experience, you can let a little bit of water and put a little bit of water in, 1 gallon at a time, and wait for it to mix. Do it gradually. Then just crank up the cereal water and drain the boiler. That when you shock the system, it will crack. Probably this is something happened to some people during the cars in the 80s and 70s, where the car overheats and all the steam comes out, and somebody comes in with cold water and they pour it in the radiator, and that's when you block your engine block, and you have to change the engine. It's the same issue. Make a water line must be installed to add water system whenever needed, and also there is automatic feeder. Automatic feeder has a pump, and it monitors your water level and will open a valve on and off to let the steam in or out. Hot fill loop must be installed on the return line in any system to prevent from back pressure. You build up some steam did not find a way to come out quickly, it will come back to the boiler and to push the water outside the boiler. And again, once the water is hot, it will rapidly change steam, and you don't want to build a lot of pressure inside the boiler. Same controls again, just to remind you, the water cutoff, high pressure cutoff, getting switch, and primary control to control the firing rate. let's spend some time in how do we calculate how much heat you get out of those radiators. Of course, if you go online and look up some of these radiators, you'll see that they come in different shapes and they have a lot of numbers for ADR. So for the first question here, if you have a cast iron steel, this is what it looks like, and this is going to be used for both water and steam. We look at the table. We come to the table and tell you which is fixed. It comes in one shape, and the height is fixed, 10 inches high, so 4 inches. And this is the square foot of radiation per foot, because you can buy it per length. You go to the company and you can order those radiators. So if I have cast iron baseboard, we have the size. How much BTU does it give? So look at the table here, it's 3.4. So 3.4 times, what is the number for ADR? 240 times how many feet? 6. What would that give me? I got 4,800. So it's very, very similar to what we did for hot water. They just come in different shapes and sizes, and you can order different sizes. Why do they have so many sizes again, and shapes and dimensions? Where are you gonna fit it? Sometimes you need to fit more than one in the room, and sometimes it's too big, so you can have thinner, bigger, boxy ones, convectors with fans on them. They are different options. So this is another convector. Those are called convectors. 5 inches by 20, so this is 5 by 20. Look at the dimensions, and they give you the ADR. So how much ADR BTU get out of that? So I look up the radiator, 5 by 20. It will give me 2.5, 2.25 times 240. And I have 7 sections. What does that mean? 7 of those plates. So you can buy those by the plate, and you can put them together. A plumber has to put them together. Again, we do not touch any of the piping. Piping is done by plumbers. 2.4 times 7. What do I get? 3,780. Okay, number 3. Same one. It's the convector, 7.5 times 20. How many BTUs for 7 sections? What do I put? What do I put here?
Is that 3.40?
Yeah.
3.40
times 240. 240 is always a constant number for ADR. And how many sections? 7 again. What do I get?
Half work.
5,000. Do you notice that there is no temperature for steam? Why is that? Huh? Because steam now is still going to be at the fixed pressure, which is 2 psi. At fixed pressure of 2 psi, the temperature is known for the steam and the volume. Just the amount of steam you pump through it. The more steam you pump, the more heat you will get. So steam will convert into water using latent heat. A few more. This is another convector. It's called tubular radiation. And again, see there's many selections. You can have 2 tubes. You have it high or low, so you can order whatever size you want based on your space. So we are, again, it's a lookup for the EDR, you know, the same conversion. Let's do these. Does it make sense to you? Is it clear? So you just pick up the number of EDR, you multiply by 240, and it's the
240 is fixed.
huh?
Is that a fixed number?
246, yeah. And usually when you call a company, you have a sheet that has all the models. They'll tell you at the end of the BTU, and you always want to have a uniform input of BTU. So a tubular radiator, 20 inch height, how many BTU does it carry? So we look here, I see the height, we'll have 20. How many tubes? 4 tubes, so 2.25. So I'll go here with 2.25 times, that's it. 4 tube, 0.25 times 240. That's it. It's a 4 tube, 20 inch. So I got two inputs here, 4 tube and 20 inch, 2.25, and you multiply by 240. The other one, 32. So I'm gonna go here, 32, two tubular tube, and 6 tubes, so 5. The column radiator is 26 inches high, 26. How many columns? 4. These are the columns, so they come in different models. So 26, I have 5. So 5 again times 240. And if you price these radiators, they're very expensive. So probably you will try to find something that's very economical and fits your need. And also the size is a big issue. How big is it going to be? Is it going to crowd my room or not? So what did we learn so far about steam? Different controls. Steam always have to have a low water cutoff. Write this down. And high pressure. Cutoff. And these are two you must have. And what else we're gonna have to steam? Relief valve. Pressure relief valve. Or what is the pressure? Standard? 30 psi. And yeah.
It's very high for steam.
Huh? That's very high, but that's for like safety measure. That's like when everything fails.
Alright.
Then it will pop. Okay, and size of the tubes, water makeup, and filters. That's it. Next Wednesday we'll talk about forced air. We have covered most of the residential heating things that are applicable now. There are a lot of ways to heat a house. These are the most common ones we see here. Again, I put an extra current paper on blackboard if you're interested. I want something new in the field. What are the most recent advancements in terms of like piping,
Words you want that?
radios, huh? 2 pages, whatever I think is sufficient to explain that. I don't count.
What does it do?
I think you put it at the end of the semester. All right, all set.